Happy Camper Radio starts in 3, 2, 1. Hello, everybody, and welcome back once again to the Happy Camper Radio Show, the only place you need to be when you're ready to talk camping. Camping is what we're about. Camping is all we talk about. I hope you all survived tax day. I hope you're all getting a big refund check, too. Not everybody's going to be so lucky, but I'll tell you this much. One of the things I like to ask folks around this time of year, if you went ahead and filled out all those forms and sent them off to the government, just so they know how much money you made and how much money they're going to give you back, have you thought about, number one, how much you're going to be putting away? And second, how much you're going to be spending on camping gear? I would like to say that I have some really exciting news to pass on today because I am going to be purchasing a brand new tent. Yes, I've got one in my radar right now. I don't know exactly when I'm going to buy it. And the fact is, the tent that I'm using currently is really not that old. It's about, I'd say 5 years old. It's showing just a little bit of wear, but there's always something better out there in the world of camping that I'm going to want. And now I've got my sights focused on this brand new tent, and I'm going to talk about that here in just a little bit. So stick around. We've got another great show lined up here for you today. Our phone number here at the Happy Camper Radio Show is 404-537-CAMP. That's 404-537-2267. You can like us on Facebook, follow us on Twitter at Camp Talker, add us to Circles on Google+, and now you can subscribe to us on our brand new YouTube channel. There's so many ways you can reach out to the Happy Camper Radio Show, and you can do it from one convenient location, and that's our homepage, www.happycamperradio.com. You can find all of our social media icons on the right-hand side of the page, and while you're there, browse around, take the studio tour if you haven't already done that, and take a look at some of the brand new pictures and some of the upgrades that we made here to the show. One thing that hasn't changed, of course, is our shout-out window, and it is open right now. I'm going to go over there and welcome some new guests to the show, some people that have recently signed on. First of all, we want to say hello to Andrea Zug of Clarington, Canada, to Don Scullion of Ontario, also to Dawn, and I believe that's a she, yes, D-A-W-N, Callan. She's also of Ontario. We're going to say hello to Dina Johnson Purvis of San Antonio. They all like us on Facebook. To Kim Knapp of Southfield, Michigan. Deb Sanderson of Northeast England. Guy McBride of North Carolina. Mark Cunningham of Las Vegas, Nevada. Hugh Sandy of Sussex in the UK. And finally, we want to say hello to Jonine McFadden of Jacksonville, Florida. They all follow us on Twitter. Thank you all so very much for joining us and being a part of this great Happy Camper Radio family. Hey, would you like to be on our program? I'd love to have you. Get in touch with me, Skip, S-K-I-P, at happycamperradio.com. And you can also call and leave me a voicemail, too, at 404-537-CAMP. We have so many ways we can bring you onto the program. Anything in the world of camping is up for discussion, so definitely give me a call. We'd just love to have you here on the show, and we thank you so very much for being a longtime loyal listener. All right, on today's program, I am going to be talking about tents, and truck tents. This is a topic, and we've talked about this before, and I want to take an opportunity to thank one of our longtime loyal listeners, Frankie, out in Texas. And he is one that suggested this, and I dug it up in an email that I had archived here not too long back. And I just wanted to go ahead and touch on this because I have been browsing the web this week. You see, the weather here in the metro Atlanta area has been just totally ugly all week long, and today is no exception. Don't you just hate it when you feel like you want to go camping and you look out the window and it's doing nothing but raining? I think I'm in Seattle for some reason. I don't know. But, every day this week it has done nothing but rain. So I've just kind of been holed up. I haven't done any outdoor work. I've just been hanging out here in the studio. And for the most part, I've just been, browsing the web. But anyway, I decided that this week I'm going to go ahead and find myself a new tent. And I'm going to get one that I know is going to last me a long time. It might be the last tent I ever buy. I don't know. But I am one about spaciousness. I like to have plenty of room anytime I go camping. I just cannot stand the idea. Now, everybody's different, okay? So, if you have a tent that you like and it's small and it's very compact and you don't mind getting down on the ground and laying on the ground, all right, that's okay. But see, for me, I'm a big guy. And I like to stand up. I like roominess. I like to be able to bring things into my tent. And yes, for the most part, I am a one-man show. So you're probably going to laugh at me because I am going to be buying a rather large tent. But it's one that I know that I am going to enjoy setting up. I am going to enjoy showing off. And I'm going to enjoy sleeping in. And you can find it online if you want to take a look at it. It's a Coleman Prairie Breeze cabin tent. A lot of folks have really, wrapped themselves around this tent here, and I've seen a couple YouTube videos on it as well. But for the most part, the tent is roomy, and I can walk inside. The high point of the tent is 7 feet. I am 6'4", so yes, I'm a big guy. And I like to be able to stand up. I like to be able to walk around and be able to bring things into the tent. I am not one to go in a very crammed environment to fall asleep. So I'm going to have plenty of room, and especially if I do have some out-of-town guests and relatives that may be showing up, I'll have plenty of room to entertain them as well and to house them, of course. So, this tent here, like I say, is going to be something that I probably will be purchasing here in the next, I want to say, month or two. But my big camping season usually falls in, I want to say, November, because I'm a fall-type camper. I like summertime camping. I like springtime camping. But usually when the temperatures start getting cold, that's when I enjoy going out. And I don't know what it is. It might have to do with the fact that, I get near a campfire and, that cold temperature and the warmth of the campfire is just the perfect combination for me. I just don't like being out in the hot sun, though. There's nothing wrong with summertime camping and springtime camping, but if I do end up out in the summer months, chances are I'm going to be at a campground that has plenty of shade, and I'm going to take full advantage of it. The current tent, like I say, is in pretty good shape. You know what I may end up doing? I may end up donating it to a needy family. I'll find somebody who just wants to get started in camping, maybe a small family. It sleeps about 5 people. That's using the sardine can factor that I call it, where you can line 5 people up inside the tent, and there you go. That particular tent it's still in good shape. I expect it's going to be around a while. And I would rather see somebody use it that can really have a need for it. If I don't find nobody locally, I just might take it up to our local Salvation Army here and drop it off, and maybe somebody can pick it up for a couple bucks. It's somebody who wants to get into the world of camping and really doesn't have a whole lot of money to do that. Might be a great starter tent for them. All right. Most tents are going to last many, many years. That's provided you take good care of them. The thing about tents is they're very lightweight. And in comparison to the tents, say, back maybe 20, 30 years ago, I remember our first tent was a huge, monstrous canvas tent. And talk about being heavy, too. I just don't know how we survived with that. But it took, a couple, 3 people just to haul it from the car over to the campsite to get it set up. I'm just sitting here shaking my head because, there's a lot of good memories that I have of camping, but there's some I'd rather forget. And setting up that old canvas tent was just an experience that I just rather not even remember. Now, even though the tents that they make today are pretty lightweight, and a lot of times just one person can set them up, the fact is that you've got to really take extra good care of them today. And because, if they can tear very easily, the tent poles can break very easily. And if you have youngsters running around, you've got to educate them and let them know that there's a playground available at the campground. Use that if you need to go ahead and run off all that energy that you have built up inside you. Don't do it around the tent. Don't do it inside the tent, because somebody takes a quick turn, somebody falls, somebody could go crashing through that tent of yours, and there could be a big tear, and it could be ruined. So, depending upon the type of tent you have, the age of it, the fact is you want to take good care of it no matter what, because the more care that you put into your tent, the longer it's going to last too. And also, as well, the weather is going to play a big role as to how long your tent is going to last you. The tent that I have, like I say, is about 5 years old, but it has seen some nasty weather out there. There has been some nasty rainstorms, and that too is going to play a big factor in how long the tent is going to last you. I always keep that rain fly on too, especially when I know some nasty weather's coming in. But one of the things that I do like about the Coleman Prairie Breeze tent, if you take the rain fly off, you've got nothing but a screen mesh at the very top, and you can lay there and look up at the stars, and that's very relaxing to me. But that's something that I'm going to be very interested in, and hopefully get set up here in my backyard. I'll probably have to make a YouTube video myself just to show that off, and just to show you how excited I'm going to be. All right. Hey, listen, if you own a pickup truck, this is another opportunity you have to go camping. Now, I want to say pickup trucks are a guy's thing, but, not anymore. I know a lot of ladies that own trucks too. But have you ever thought about buying a tent specifically to set up on the bed of your pickup truck? If you browse through the internet and put truck tents in your search engine, you'll be surprised at the variety of truck tents that are out in the world today that people own and people enjoy as part of a regular everyday camping life. Take a look at some of them sometime. Regardless of the size of your truck bed, they make a tent to fit it. Now, they come in a variety of sizes, shapes, styles, and designs, and you'll be surprised, too, that many of them are reasonably priced. There's a lot of good advantages to owning a truck tent, but there's some disadvantages, too. Now, keep this in mind. If you decide that you're going to have a truck tent to put on your pickup truck, number one, unless you have a second vehicle to get around in, you're going to be stuck. What that means is if you have to pack up to go to the grocery store or you want to go do some sightseeing, you're going to have to take your tent down and you're going to have to pack it away. And that can be very annoying. So, this is going to be something you're going to put your tent on top of your pickup truck, and you're going to be doing it for the specific reason of camping, but you can't be driving down the road with this tent on the back of your truck. Okay, you need to bring everything to camp with you. That also means that your trips to the grocery store are going to be out of the question. You're going to have to do all your shopping ahead of time. You're going to need to plan your meals accordingly. And again, if you want to do some sightseeing, and unless you're going on foot, on bike, or by horseback, you're pretty much going to be stuck at the campsite. For myself personally, I don't mind that. I did all my sightseeing in my younger years. Pretty much anymore, I just stay at camp. I don't do really anything because I like sitting around, I like relaxing, I like being around the fire, and I've talked about that too before. Now, for the best selection of truck tents, you're going to find them online. I have been in a lot of the big box stores. I have been around. I can't really say that I have actually seen any truck tents inside some of the stores. Now, maybe they're there. Maybe I haven't been looking hard enough for them. But if you want a good selection of truck tents, if you want the type of tent that is going to fit the bed of your pickup truck, you're going to find your best selection online. Now, those that do carry truck tents inside of the big box stores, and I encourage you to shop those locations because those are good places to really get yourself wrapped up into camping. I like being inside the stores because it really draws me in. Take Big Bass Pro Shops, for example. I go in there, I could be in there for hours and just never want to come out. And you are really tempted to spend if you are a diehard camper like myself, because you're always going to find something new. You're going to find something that's going to really draw you into the camping spirit and say, wow, I just got to have this. I find myself in that position quite a bit. But if you go into the stores, like I say, chances are you're not going to find a truck tent. You may find one, but it's not going to be the one that you're going to want. So plan on doing your shopping online. And you're going to do some research ahead of time to get the right one that you need. You might want to remember you're going to spend a little bit of money, even though they're very reasonably priced, but you're going to find the tent that has your name written all over it. Here's some of the things, too, that you want to consider when you're buying a truck tent. Consider the condition of your truck and the truck bed. The bed of your truck is going to be primarily your sleeping area. This is where you're going to be bedded down and where you're going to be relaxed. Does your pickup truck have rust all over it? Is there going to be rust and torn metal inside your bed? You're going to have to do a very careful examination. These will create some issues, and they're going to have to be addressed. One of the things you may want to consider, especially if you have an older truck and you've been using it to haul things around, if you've just been throwing stuff in there, you might want to consider putting down a rubber mat or maybe even putting a brand new bed lining inside of it. Now, that can get a little bit costly, but keep in mind what you're planning to use your truck for now. You're going to be going camping. You're going to be relaxing back there, and you're probably going to let your kids play back there too. And the last thing you want them to do is get hurt. So you want all that metal and that rust and everything all covered up and taken care of. Air mattresses are going to provide your best comfort in the bed of a pickup truck. One of my first camping trips up in North Georgia was in the bed of a pickup truck. It was cold outside. I had an Arctic hunting outfit on. I had no sleeping bag, and I was laying on the bed of my truck with my head on a spare tire. Don't do that. But that's how engaged I was that weekend, and it was a last-minute thing, and I had no camping gear. All right, so don't plan on doing anything like that, especially if you're going to have your family along. You want to do it upright. So make sure that you have some proper bedding in the back of your truck, especially if you're going to have that truck tent on top. Now, they do make air mattresses that are designed for truck beds. You can find them online, too, and they're really neat. They fit inside of the bed of the pickup truck, and they mold around the wheel wells. So you just get more roll-around room inside there, and you get more comfortable space to take advantage of. But for the most part, your pickup truck bed is going to accommodate nothing more than a twin-size air mattress. And that's that. Forget about trying to put a queen size, unless you have a very wide bed. But I haven't seen too many of those before. So if you're going to be on a single air mattress, that means you're probably going to be a single camper. I can't see you getting the family on an air mattress like that. So keep that in mind, too, if you're going to be buying a truck tent for your camping needs this time of year. If you're going to be bringing along an air mattress, don't forget those battery-powered inflation devices. I bought a hand pump and a foot pump one time to blow up your air mattress. And you know something, folks? That's too much like work. Don't do that. Spend a little extra money, get that battery-powered inflation device, and take full advantage of that. Get that air mattress blown up, and you'll have more time to take advantage of relaxation while you are camping. All right, some truck tents extend beyond the bed of the truck. Have you seen any of those before? You've probably been sitting here, if you're not familiar with truck tents, you're probably envisioning, well, maybe he's talking about a tent that just goes over the bed of the truck, and that's that. No, they actually extend beyond the bed and offer plenty of room for additional shelter. Again, like I said, depending upon the size of the tent you want, you better be prepared to spend a little bit of money. They can be sweet and simple. They can be extremely elaborate. The sky's the limit, just depending upon what you want. There's really no right and wrong when it comes to buying a tent. It's similar to buying a car. You buy what you like, and you spend what you can afford. Consider an additional tent for the kids if, by chance, you don't have the room inside your truck tent, and you've got kids coming along. Now, many campgrounds are going to allow a second tent on the site. You're going to actually have a driveway to pull into. Your tent is going to be part of your vehicle, and at the campsite, you're also going to have a tent pad there. So you can utilize the driveway space, and you can utilize the tent pad for a second tent. And it doesn't have to be a little tent. I mean, if you've got maybe 4 or 5 kids, you might want to invest in something that's going to accommodate them. And definitely, just because you're dad, you're buying a tent that's going to fit you and you're all excited about, and it's going to allow you the spaciousness that you want on the back of your truck. Definitely consider your kids too. All right, even though this is your so-called over-the-road man cave, your kids need that space. And so make sure that if you're going to buy them a tent and you're first-time campers, take them along to the store with you, or sit them down by the computer if you're doing online shopping, and consider a tent that's going to be suitable for everybody, something that everybody is going to want and enjoy and take full advantage of. Make them a part of the camping experience too, because you just can't go wrong with that. I remember many, many years ago with my family growing up. This is when I was a young kid. My 2 brothers and my 2 sisters had a blast together. We don't really see too much of each other these days because, I live way, way far away in comparison to them. When we do get together, it's great to sit down and talk about old memories and some of the things we did back then. And I am so looking forward to maybe having a family reunion sometime. Where everybody brings their tents. We all find a place we can get together and sit back and, just pick up on where we left off and enjoy some really, really good memories. Now, getting back to the campgrounds, like we say, if you have a truck tent and you have a second vehicle that's coming along, or maybe let's just say somebody is going to be joining you there at the camp, then you're good to go because you have now another vehicle to get around in. And your tent can stay permanently attached to your pickup truck while you're at the campground. You don't have to worry about tearing it down. You don't have to worry about really much of anything because you have that second vehicle to get around in. Hopefully, you're going to be at a campground that's not too far away from some of the conveniences that you would not otherwise have. I like campgrounds that have a convenience store that's right there at the location, just in case you forgot any of those last-minute things. If you have some bikes that you're bringing along, and I'm going to be doing an episode probably next week on bikes to take along with you when you go camping. Because more and more these days, especially during the spring and summer months when I'm out, I see a lot of people with their bicycles. And when I see campers coming into the campground, I see them with bicycles attached to the back of their SUV or their pickup truck or whatever they're driving. And sometimes there's 2 or 3 bicycles there. So they definitely bring them for a reason. And I think they play a very important role into the camping environment when you go out and take on wilderness like you do, and you're looking for activities. And a lot of folks are into biking, and I think it's great exercise too. And a lot of folks do bike around the campgrounds. So that's a good topic of discussion I think we're going to be speaking of as well. Okay? I hope you had a great tax season. I hope you got through that. You know, it's one of those things, it's a dreaded thing that you go through each and every year. I don't look forward to it, but it's something that is tax day. They say it's death and taxes, something you'll never be able to avoid. But hopefully you got a good refund and you'll be able to spend some of that money. I encourage you to save it first. Put some of that money away. And if you do have any left over that you want to invest in camping, this will be a great time of the year to do just that. Because this time of year, people are just getting themselves in tune with the springtime camping atmosphere. And it will be a great opportunity for you to get together with the family and go to one of the big box locations, whether it be Cabela's, Bass Pro Sports Shop. We have one up here in Academy Sports, which is not very far away from where I live. And, of course, you know, you got your other stores like Walmart, and every one of them have a camping supply aisle. And a lot of folks just browse through those stores almost each and every day. And anytime I go into that store, I'm always over in the camping aisle just to take a peek and see whatever they have over there. And there's always something I'm going to be adding to my camping supply and my camping collection. So camping is something we can live with, something is we're always going to enjoy, and it's going to be part of our family heritage for a very, very long, long time. It's time now for our featured campground of the week here on the Happy Camper Radio Show. I found a campground up north that's not very far away from where I used to live. This is going to be the Iron Ridge Campground on Lake Vesuvius in Ohio, and is part of the Wayne National Forest run by the U.S. Forestry Service. Take a look at their website if you want to talk about a campground that provides plenty of shade. The Iron Ridge Campground is for you. It's a great location for outdoor recreation with activities like boating and swimming and fishing, and horseback riding and hiking are also available in the rolling hills surrounding the campground. They have more than 40 miles of existing trails in the area, with trailheads beginning at or near the campground. Now, here's something else. If you're into history, all right, there's a half-mile hiking trail that connects the campground to Lake Vesuvius. And the Lakeshore Trail offers an 8-mile loop around the lake, and shorter trails lead to Rock House Cave, which is a grand tunnel-like sandstone cave that was once used by the Native Americans for shelter. So if you're into history, definitely bring your camera up there and take some great pictures. I'm a history buff. I like to be able to check out some of those things that are available when I go camping. The campground offers multiple RV camping sites. Many have electrical hookups. Some are first come, first serve. They're also available too, and each site is equipped with a picnic table, campfire ring, and a grill. It's a great place to consider if you want to go camping this year. It's the Iron Ridge Campground in Ohio on Lake Vesuvius, and it is our featured campground of the week here on the Happy Camper Radio Show. Well, folks, that's about going to wrap it up for this edition of the Happy Camper Radio Show. I thank you so very much for joining me, and I just hope the sunshine works its way into this section of the woods in just a little while, because I'll tell you, the rain is just ready to put me to sleep. Maybe I'm going to go out in the garage and sort through my camping gear and see what I need to buy and head on up to my local camping supply store and get some goodies to throw in my boxes. That's exactly what I do when I'm suffering the boredom. Hey, don't forget you can catch us online anytime at www.happycamperradio.com. You can like us on Facebook, follow us on Twitter at Camp Talker, add us to circles on Google+, and now subscribe to us on YouTube. The Happy Camper Radio Show is a presentation of Skip Huber Productions. I'm Skip. I am a happy camper. And yes, my friends, you can be a happy camper too. This is Happy Camper Radio.